Toby, job done, but you probably weren't thinking in that sense before the first Iestyn Hopkins strike.
No, so that's fairly accurate. Look, we knew what was coming. I think we were a little bit naive. We talked about it half time, and we've been a bit smarter and about certain things that we could do cleaner to reduce the physicality, learning the lessons a little bit from Montpellier, really. Which I love the bravery and the physicality, but physics are physics, so you need to dice that up slightly differently. The great thing was that as a team, as they always do, they listened, found a way and executed that well, and that got us in front and managed to put away, and then the game changes because nothing changes the mindset of the opposition than the scoreboard.
We could get the injuries out the way. Dewi Lake lasted 5 minutes?
Hamstring.
What's the prognosis?
Yeah, so he felt a pop in his hamstring, so we just erred on the side of caution. You know, it'll be hopefully a low grade, so a couple of weeks, or it depends on what it is. But he walked off the pitch. He was umming and ahhing whether to continue, so we made that decision.
So it's a precautionary one?
Well, I think there's definitely something there, and you never know until you see. But finely tuned athletes like Dewi Lake, I never thought I'd say that statement. Those you're very aware of your body, and something doesn't feel quite right, or something makes a sound or a feeling that doesn't go right, then you need to make decisions about whether they can continue at risk or not. So we are, and trust me, we ummed and ahed about it because. And
to be fair, Dewi knows he's had a few of those.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So from that point of view, it's like sometimes you've got to protect the player from themselves as well. So like with him, Gar Thomas is exactly the same. Even though he came off he was, that's why he didn't go back on, because he cooled down and he was at more risk not doing that. The scoreboard allowed us to do that. Garen Phillips looks like he's done something to his arm, so we'll find out more about that. Other injuries.
James Fender,
yeah, that one looks nasty, and the fact that it was a collision and he took the knee straight away, that's never a great sign. Again, another arm injury, but until we get them assessed, they're in there now. I can't answer, but yeah, it didn't look great.
And George was illness? Yeah,
George to be fair, he's been struggling a little bit throughout the week, and then I think it all came on top of him a little bit in the warm-up, and I saw him run off in the middle of the warm-up, and then the report from the physio was that he's not going to be able to go. So again, Kieran Williams, great replacement, and he goes and not played for a while and delivered that very strong physical performance. Like him and Owen were very, very good in the middle. So yeah, one door shuts, another one opens.
And a professional job in the second, 8-0, 8 points to the good at half time, but you went through the gears in the second.
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're physically, because we were smarter, we managed to dictate the tempo of the game, and big's not always better. So we were smarter. We managed to get longer density ball in play time. We managed to speed the game up and make big players make key decisions, and you saw the best of some nice tries and some good boys finishing off what others had created. So yeah, that was pleasing, that bit.
How do you feel going to South Africa for a one-off trip against the Lions? Nothing against Joburg or anything, but this is a tough one. It's a one-off, and given your lengthy injury list.
Well, I think there'll be some spaces on the plane, so let's say that. So the good thing is obviously getting the result today. Obviously when we were so mixed up, obviously we huffed and puffed around a bonus point, but in the end it doesn't matter. We've managed to qualify, so that can shape your thinking a little bit. It's not a needs must. And as we know, we're on the 13th game in a massive block after a massive pre-season, so we can actually take it, as you say, as a one-off and see where it takes us, rather than it being a must-win game. That can shape our thoughts a little bit.
We've spoken about the narrative that's engulfing Welsh rugby in terms of young players getting a chance. However, they've come to the fore down at the Ospreys. Iestyn Hopkins, brace of tries, look comfortable and assured in that position.
Yeah, I think the accurate part of that is, look, I know that that's a narrative that's kicking around, but to be fair, since I've been here, it's exactly what we've done. and we are probably a little bit further down the road. I mean, you're talking about Yasin Hopkins, this young pup when I arrived, and Dowie Lake and Jack Morgan and Rhys Davis and Matty Provorou, and those sort of players were that group, and now we're talking about the next group. So we're probably a wave in front of that, which is good for us. But you want people that, we've got a really good core group that really care about each other. They're of the like mindset, the same age, and this is their time. The old guard's moved on. This is their time and their region, and we're trying to create that for them, because they're enjoying each other's company, enjoying doing what they do, and long may it continue.
You're not describing Keelan as the old guard, though, are you?
Well, he likes to consider himself as the senior statesman now, but that's for him to defend or not.
But he didn't look the old guard scoring that try. You must have enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it was nice. Obviously, like Toby said, a little bit disappointed not to get 4 tries out of the game, but we know Perpignan were going to come and play. I thought we defended well that first half, kept them out 8-0 going in, and then, like Toby said, coming out, being a bit cleaner with our exits and playing in the right area, and yeah, like a winner's win, and on to the next one now in South Africa.
And you can gain an awful amount from this competition. Toby's spoken about the block. You've got Lions, Ulster, Edinburgh. It's going to go far to define your season.
Yeah, I think this block now, we've had a good couple of wins. I think our confidence is high in the group. It's a good place to be at the moment, so hopefully we can take that in now to Lions and then the other URC games then.
Spoken about the youngsters, but you've had your troubles with injuries as well. What's it just what's being injury free like?
Yeah, a little bit different, I think. No, it's been class. Credit to the S&C boys and the medical staff here, the Ospreys. They've looked after me, and they've been patient with me over the years. And yeah, it's nice to be out there playing regularly, and playing with a smile on my face and a bit of confidence.
And Toby, some people view this competition differently from club to club, but you're through to the last 16, and it is something tangible to win at the end of the season.
Yeah, only so many things to put your hand up for, you right? And with a young group, who haven't probably experienced great amount of successes, it's important to cherish every little thing that you can. And I think winning, it's nice we've got 4 or 5 now on a row, which is great. But also, if you can get something tangible at the end of it, that nothing reinforces what you're doing than actually winning something. So look, we understand that the URC is a very tough competition, and there's lots of, let's put it like this, loaded dices that aren't in our favour. But we'll swing for the fence and try to do our best and find a way and see what happens. But cup competitions are one-offs, and you saw last year with Europe, even though it was the Champions Cup, no one thought we'd beat the French champions, the English champions, get the Saracens, give them a massive run for their money. So from that point of view, I appreciate the team's different, but we also want to give people something to cheer about and enjoy it. So I don't think we're in a position where we can pick and choose. I think we want to understand how good we can be, the challenges we have to meet, and part of that is you have to front every week and be consistent, and whatever competition, that when you put that shirt on, it means something. So that's what it means, and if we can get something to celebrate with all of our people doing that, then we'll go for it for sure.
Do you think you are building a bit of momentum down here? You are building something, because Boxing Day you had to show a bit of grit, equally so in Bridgend.
I think that any team that hopefully I've got a contribution to would show that, and I think that those, Keelan's probably a better person to ask without me in the room, but in relation to if he wants to play again, so from that point of view is we cherish the unseen stuff a lot, and consistency is born about care, wanting to do it for your teammates and the people you were part of, but also you celebrate the stuff that you want to see. And I think I've installed quite a lot of that, and I think as a team and a region we've always had that, but now we cherish it, and that keeps us in the contest.
Just a final housekeeping one. Jack Morgan, is he the same in terms of length, or is that?
Yeah, I would be surprised if he's back for Six Nations.
Yeah, okay.
Toby, how much credit does the defensive effort in that first half deserved in terms of not allowing them to score?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that was probably the difference in the Montpellier, similar size, physicality and whatever, but there was a want and a desperation, and often the best defences are a little bit desperate because it's not always perfect. And it's a bit like we talk about the off the ball stuff, the unseen stuff. That's where you see the grit and determination in your team. So it's funny, we were just looking at the block stats and to be fair, we probably at the halfway point conceded as many line breaks as last year, and obviously we're trying to improve that, but the points we've conceded is a third less, or points per entry is a third less. I know that's a boring stat, but it just shows you the desperation and the commitment. And the boys, Mark Jones should take a lot of credit in that, because the team we want to be requires good fundamentals of the game. Everyone knows how good we are set piece wise, scrum, line out, maul, etc. And the missing piece of the jigsaw enough for us to be more competitive was around defence. And I think we're seeing us be more robust in that area, and that allows us to think about the cherry on the top when we get the ball.
And you were down on the pitch side when Yestin scored. I think you cracked a smile when you went over, didn't you?
I did, yeah. The Ginger Ninja went well, yeah, for sure. It's the sprint work he's been doing with Keelan, you see. No, look, I mean, defensive tries are actually sometimes the best tries, because ultimately you don't have to play multiple phases to get them, because if you can get an aggressive defensive try, it's just you and the speedsters, right? And they're obviously got to find. So there's a lot of, Saracens made a living out of it for years, right? So, the perfect... everyone talks about the perfect hat trick in football. The perfect bonus point in rugby is one defence, one scrum, one maul, one counter attack. So if you can get those, then all's good.
So have you seen an injury sort of the mantle that you've got in your career? Because I think you've come close to 20 now, and I think there's a lot of players in the academy. You mentioned about the player, but have you come across that before?
Probably once. I think not probably the volume at the same time. What really hurts any squad, big, small, whatever, is injuries in the same position. And it started off with the back five of our scrum really being. Now we've obviously picked up some front row ones today, but the back five of our scrum has been absolutely decimated, and that makes it really difficult. And centre probably the other one. So those are the things that are really difficult to deal with. And if you look at that injured 15, but now we've got injured 15 plus a bench, so that's far from ideal, especially when you've got smaller squads, less resources. Sometimes the good thing is it provides opportunity, but we've probably gone beyond the providing the opportunity element now. It's now a bit in survival mode, but we've got one more week to go. We'll dust ourselves off, recover after that, go to the well one more time, and then we'll see where it gets us.
Anyone can come back next week that can say, in terms of that back five, we stay with.
I don't know. Well, no, not currently. I mean, not currently. We should get. I mean, it's always ironic, isn't it? Like when we come back in, a few of those will be hopefully back off their injury list. So people like Toby Fricker, Justin Tipperick, Alex Cuthbert, Don Morris, for example. I think Morgan Morris, hopefully. So hopefully we're a bit better off. But it's a collision sport with ball in play times going up. By default, you get more collisions. More collisions means more potential risk, and unfortunately, that's part of what we have to do. But that's why we need good academies, good squad numbers, good strength in depth.
Gareth Thomas, just to confirm, he okay? Was it?
Yeah.
Him up,
He's all right.